disappearance of Madeleine McCann, a lingering mystery.
On a balmy spring evening in 2007, the tranquil resort town of Praia da Luz, Portugal, became the unlikely setting for one of the most perplexing and enduring mysteries of the 21st century. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the whitewashed buildings and cobblestone streets, a young British girl named Madeleine McCann vanished without a trace. Her disappearance would spark a global manhunt, ignite a media frenzy, and leave a family and the world grappling with unanswered questions for years to come.
The McCann family had arrived at the Ocean Club Resort just days earlier, seeking a respite from their busy lives in Leicestershire, England. Kate and Gerry McCann, both successful doctors, were accompanied by their 3 young children. Madeleine, nearly 4 years old, and her 2-year-old twin siblings, Sean and Emily. The picturesque coastal town seemed like the perfect backdrop for a week of relaxation and family bonding. Little did they know that their idyllic vacation was about to take a nightmarish turn. The night everything changed, May 3rd, 2007. As dusk settled over Praia da Luz, the McCanns joined their friends, 7 other British adults, for dinner at the resort's tapas restaurant. The group, who would later become known as the Tapas 7, had fallen into a routine during their stay. Each evening, they would gather for a meal while their children slept in nearby apartments. The adults took turns checking on the kids every half hour, a practice that seemed reasonable given the proximity of their accommodations to the restaurant. At around 8:30 p.m., Kate and Gerry McCann left their 3 children asleep in apartment 5A and headed to dinner. Gerry performed the first check at 9:05 p.m., noting that all was well. At 9:15 p.m., another member of the group, Jane Tanner, reported seeing a man carrying a child near the McCann's apartment. This sighting would later become a crucial and controversial piece of evidence in the investigation. The pivotal moment came at 10:00 p.m. when Kate McCann went to check on the children. As she entered the apartment, a gust of wind slammed the door behind her. In the darkened room, she noticed that the window was open and the curtains were billowing. Her heart racing, Kate approached the children's bedroom. Madeleine's bed was empty. The frantic search begins. Kate's anguished cry pierced the night air. "Madeleine's gone! Someone's taken her!" Within minutes, the peaceful resort erupted into chaos. Gerry McCann and their friends frantically searched the apartment complex and surrounding areas, calling out Madeleine's name into the darkness. Local police were alerted at 10:41 p.m., and soon after, resort staff and guests joined the search effort. As word spread, the once sleepy town of Praia da Luz transformed into a hive of activity. Flashlights bobbed in the night as searchers combed the beach, checked under cars, and scoured every nook and cranny of the resort. But Madeleine was nowhere to be found. The investigation unfolds. As dawn broke on May 4th, the gravity of the situation began to sink in. Portuguese police, led by Inspector Gonçalo Amaral, took charge of the investigation. However, crucial early missteps would later be heavily criticized. The crime scene, apartment 5A, was not immediately secured. In the hours following Madeleine's disappearance, numerous people had entered and exited the apartment, potentially contaminating valuable evidence. Forensic experts weren't called in until the following day, and border controls weren't alerted for nearly 12 hours. These initial errors would haunt the investigation for years to come. As news of Madeleine's disappearance spread, the international media descended upon Praia da Luz. The McCanns, thrust into the spotlight, made impassioned pleas for their daughter's safe return. The image of 3-year-old Madeleine, with her distinctive right eye, a rare ocular condition that caused a black outward flare in her iris, became instantly recognizable around the world. Theories and suspects emerge. As days turned into weeks, a myriad of theories about Madeleine's fate began to circulate. Was she the victim of a planned abduction? Had she wandered off and met with an accident? Or was there a more sinister explanation? The investigation pursued several leads. 1. The Smith sighting. On the night of Madeleine's disappearance, an Irish family reported seeing a man carrying a child, matching Madeleine's description near the beach. This sighting, occurring around 10:00 p.m., was initially considered a promising lead. 2. Robert Murat, a British-Portuguese property consultant living near the Ocean Club Resort, quickly became the first official suspect, or arguido. Murat's home was searched and he was questioned extensively. However, he was eventually cleared of any involvement. 3. The Tanner sighting. Jane Tanner's report of seeing a man carrying a child earlier in the evening became a focal point of the investigation. A sketch of the man was widely circulated, though years later, investigators would conclude that this sighting was likely an innocent tourist carrying his own child. 4. Apartment break-ins. In the months leading up to Madeleine's disappearance, there had been reports of intruders breaking into apartments in the area, sometimes lingering over children's beds. This led to speculation that Madeleine might have been the victim of a predatory pedophile ring. As the investigation progressed, however, a shocking turn of events would thrust the case into even murkier waters: the McCanns under suspicion. In a twist that stunned the world, Portuguese police named Kate and Jerry McCann as arguidos in September 2007. The theory posited by investigators was that Madeleine had died accidentally in the apartment, possibly from an overdose of sedatives, and that her parents had disposed of her body and staged an abduction to cover up the death. This theory was largely based on evidence from 2 sniffer dogs. One dog, trained to detect human blood, allegedly alerted to several areas in the apartment and in the McCanns' rental car, which they had rented 25 days after Madeleine's disappearance. The other dog, trained to detect the scent of human corpses, also allegedly signaled in similar locations. However, subsequent forensic analysis failed to provide conclusive evidence supporting these claims. DNA samples were deemed too degraded or mixed to be definitively linked to Madeleine. The McCanns vehemently denied any involvement in their daughter's disappearance. They argued that the dog evidence was unreliable and that the police theory was baseless. The couple's arguido status was eventually lifted in July 2008, but the damage to their reputation had been done. The case had taken a toll on the Portuguese investigators as well. In October 2007, lead detective Gonçalo Amaral was removed from the case after criticizing British police involvement. He would later write a controversial book, The Truth of the Lie, which promoted the theory of the McCanns' involvement, a move that led to a lengthy legal battle with the couple. A case goes cold. On July 21, 2008, the Portuguese Attorney General's office announced that the investigation was being archived due to a lack of evidence of any crime committed by the arguidos. The McCanns' arguido status was lifted, and the case was effectively closed. But for Kate and Jerry McCann, the search for their daughter was far from over. In the years that followed, the McCanns worked tirelessly to keep Madeleine's case in the public eye. They hired private detectives, launched public appeals, and worked closely with child protection organizations. Their determination never wavered, even in the face of public scrutiny and criticism. The case saw periodic resurgences of interest. In 2011, at the McCanns' request, the British government launched Operation Grange, a Scotland Yard review of the case. This review later became a full investigation, pursuing new leads and re-examining old evidence. New leads and ongoing mystery. Over the years, various potential suspects and leads have emerged. 1. In 2013, UK detectives released e-fit images of men they wanted to question, including one who was seen carrying a child near the McCanns' apartment on the night of the disappearance. 2. In 2014, Scotland Yard officers and Portuguese police conducted new searches in Praia da Luz, including an area of scrubland near the Ocean Club Resort. These searches yielded no significant findings. 3. In 2020, German prosecutors announced they were investigating a new suspect, Christian Bruckner, a convicted sex offender who was living in the Algarve at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. While this development sparked renewed interest in the case as of 2023, no charges have been filed against Bruckner in relation to Madeleine's disappearance. The impact and legacy. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann has left an indelible mark on public consciousness. It has raised important questions about child safety, media responsibility, and the complexities of international investigations. The case has also had a profound impact on the town of Praia da Luz and the wider Algarve region. Once a quiet holiday destination, it became forever associated with one of the most high-profile missing persons cases in history. For the McCann family, the years since Madeleine's disappearance have been an unimaginable ordeal. Kate and Jerry have faced intense media scrutiny, public judgment, and the constant pain of not knowing what happened to their daughter. Despite this, they have channeled their grief into advocacy, working to improve child protection measures and support for families of missing children. Madeleine's siblings, Sean and Amelie, have grown up in the shadow of their sister's disappearance. Now teenagers, they have had to navigate a life marked by an absence that occurred before they were old enough to fully comprehend it. Unanswered questions. As we approach the 16th anniversary of Madeleine's disappearance, many questions remain unanswered. 1. What really happened on the night of May 3, 2007? 2. If Madeleine was abducted, who took her and why? 3. How did the abductor manage to enter and exit the apartment without being detected? 4. What is the significance, if any, of the various reported sightings on that night? 5. Could any of the more recent leads, including the German suspect, finally provide closure to this case? The disappearance of Madeleine McCann serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist even in seemingly safe environments. It underscores the importance of vigilance in child safety and the need for swift, coordinated responses in missing persons cases. Moreover, the case highlights the power and pitfalls of media attention in criminal investigations. While the extensive coverage undoubtedly helped to maintain public interest and potentially generate leads, it also led to a frenzy of speculation and armchair detective work that at times hindered rather than helped the official investigation. The role of technology and social media. In the years since Madeleine's disappearance, advancements in technology and the rise of social media have dramatically changed how missing persons cases are investigated and publicized. The McCann case, which began in the early days of social media, has in many ways ridden the wave of this digital revolution. From viral Facebook posts to Twitter hashtags, from crowdsourced investigations on Reddit to true crime podcasts, Madeleine's story has been dissected and discussed in virtually every online forum imaginable. While this global connectivity has helped to keep the case in the public eye and potentially reach witnesses who might otherwise have been missed, it has also led to the rapid spread of misinformation and conspiracy theories. The McCann case serves as a cautionary tale about the double-edged sword of internet sleuthing and the responsibility that comes with sharing information online. Looking to the future, as the years pass, the likelihood of resolving Madeleine's disappearance may seem to diminish. However, recent developments in forensic technology and genetic genealogy have solved decades-old cold cases, offering a glimmer of hope that one day, the truth about what happened to Madeleine McCann may come to light. For now, her case remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of our time, a stark reminder of a moment when a family's world was turned upside down, and a little girl with a distinctive eye captured the hearts of millions around the world. As we reflect on this enduring mystery, we're left to wonder, will the truth about Madeleine McCann's fate ever be known? And if so, what will that revelation mean for her family, for the many individuals touched by her story, and for our understanding of the complex interplay between crime, media, and public perception?